Where did we leave off?
We had just arrived here and we were about to go down the road.
There was a thunderstorm or something that I perceived as a thunderstorm, and somebody saw a face. I didn't see it.
But then we did decide to go down the road towards what we think is Barovia.
And we encountered I don't know what race he was. There was a guy who was working for very old beings, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, the gypsies.
Yeah.
The space gypsies.
Space
Space
Gypsy.
Gypsy.
I love it.
And he succumbed to his curse, and then there was this weird dimensional shift thing that happened where we're not quite in the same place as we were.
We're in a place we've been teleported to. That is
And
true.
that guy died.
The guy
The guy died.
with with the fail of particular roles and not particular roles, and not to be metagaming, manipulated us into this situation. We got him to tell us some truths, but we weren't pushing him enough for the right truths.
Well,
And he was dancing around. We're definitely concerned on how we got here and the truth of all the thing, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, no. What he was telling us once we got back to my area in the woods was all the truth because I charmed him.
But he wasn't allowed to reveal certain things.
Yes,
Right.
there were some things he couldn't reveal, but he couldn't lie to us necessarily.
He was definitely opting not to tell the truth.
but we did learn
Is-
about Strahd's history, and that a lot of it had to do with the lost love, and that he had gone bad, but that the people who had originally helped him were allowed to travel in and out, and that this guy had evidently had been a descendant of one of the folks who helped, so he was allowed in and out. But that there's this sick woman now who needs our help, who's in Barovia. So we have the letter, and Bezerin has the amulet, and we were headed in the direction of what we think is the town. Does that sound about right?
All of it sounded right. Even the parts that you think conflicted sounded right.
Great.
Bring that up. It all sounded right.
Always right.
So I'm seeing 3 out of 4 players get the map. It looks like Patrick didn't get the map. Am I wrong?
I don't think it fully did. I think it tried to give me the map.
Hey, mine's loading up. I've got a little cutout.
Yeah,
Unless
a
that's
little
all we're supposed to
cutout as
have.
well.
Yeah, there's only a little bit of the map revealed. All the way.
Okay.
I have
You'd have
from
to.
about here to here.
It's about the shape that a knight could travel in chess.
Yes, there.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
I have it.
it's kind of vision. You guys are around that road, and you can see into those directions easily. And I'm gonna fast forward a touch. If I'm not mistaken, we left it off with you guys are still at whatever campsite we were talking about, and you were starting to walk along the road. At this point, you've walked around the road for about an hour, and you're certain to see a large structure in front of you, a gate maybe, and that's where you're headed now.
Was that this thing on the map?
What was that?
Can you tell what material it is?
Tony first. What was the question?
Was that this thing on the map, the gate?
Yes, but you're not pointing at anything or using anything to point with, so I'm just going to guess that that's what you mean.
It's pretty much the only thing on
Yeah,
the
it's
map.
the only thing I meant.
Yeah, that's it.
And material will be obvious in a moment. So the
Very well.
okay,
I remember how to draw.
fog spills out of the forest to swallow up the road behind you. Ahead, jutting from the wow, I'm gonna need some more coffee. Impenetrable woods on both sides of the road are high stone buttresses looming gray in the fog. Huge iron gates hang from the stonework. Dew clings with cold tenacity to the rusted bars. 2 headless statues of armed guards flank the gate. The heads are now lying among the weeds at their feet. They greet you with only silence. And it is huge. I'm going to share another map, but this is a bigger one. It might take up your whole screen.
Oh, nice, nice.
Can
I
I
don't drink them, but there's no heads.
can I
Why
identify
heads?
the origin of these
Where did
statues by
their
any chance?
heads
Like
go?
what
Where did
cultures?
their heads go?
Their heads are
Is that rust or blood? Where did they, oh, they're on the ground at their feet. Oh, I see them now. There's their heads. And the guy on the donkey is just a guy on the donkey.
He's not there.
Um,
He's not there.
no, it's a Hudson Hawk
Oh,
reference. Sometimes the
Ah.
guy on the donkey is just a guy on the donkey.
So
Greatest B movie ever.
you said something about making a roll, identifying something. What was that?
Yeah, I wanted to see if I could like roll for like a history check to see if I could, find like know what the origin
Yes.
of these statues are.
Yes. Be my guest.
Uh,
Humans in general make gates like these, especially the overly big ones. I mean, dwarves obviously don't make gates this high. Elves don't have a necessity to overcompensate. But
Oh, I
this
see.
is
Playing that human hate. I gotcha.
so this is definitely human lands. Obviously they had some kind of military background going on because those are warriors, but you're not able to pinpoint exactly the name or background of what these people may have been or are.
I asked the druid, can you get a sense of how well traveled this road is?
That roll for anyone proficient in survival would be a survival check. The druid's more than welcome to be one of the people that make that
I
road.
actually, yeah, I'm quite good at that. Let me see if I.
I just
I'm
got
just
rid of
gonna
5% or my
roll
proficiency.
very, very adequately.
The road is still dirt. It's obviously just patted down to a point. It wasn't um upgraded isn't the word. There's no progress involved in making the road more than just a dirt path for the most part. On either side of you, there's nothing but forest to the one side. There's nothing but mountain and forest to the other. So it's kind of like you're being funneled in. Apologize for that. D&D does it sometimes. I don't do it. Um,
Got the glasses on.
we turn into a scroll screen sometimes. As for the gates, when the rust and the fact that they're not kept up very well tells you that this it's really old and it's not used frequently, or it's not all that important to anybody because no one's keeping it up. But
I,
you don't see anything that would show that this road is used often or with any real any sense of urgency.
I shared that with servant Gabriel.
Okay.
Does it look like this road has been
You cut out during your sentence, so I don't know how to answer it.
Does it look like this road has been used recently?
Go ahead and roll another survival or investigation, your choice.
Alright, investigation.
Investigation would not be the best for me. So if someone's very good at investigation, they can try that.
Oh, no, it's been ages.
This road has never been traveled on since the day it was made.
I'm fairly certain it's made of jello.
Zezerin, the best you can come to conclude is that this road goes to nowhere. No one uses this road. It's pointless.
This isn't a road, guys.
What are we using? Survival?
This is a river.
Survival
Or
or investigation
investigation.
start to answer some of the questions I'm hearing.
All right, neither one doesn't make a difference. So
Moss, your survival is
let's
the
waste
same
that dirty
still, so-
20. Let's waste that dirty 20. I look at it. I smell the dirt. I look around and I go, I'm with idiots. And then I come to the conclusion of
Magnus, you realize that the answer to these questions isn't the road, it's the gate. Even the stone work in front of you isn't really giving you any answers, but as you look closely, the gate opens on its own. And it's opening towards you just so slightly that the others didn't even notice. It's already done. You're the only one that saw it that I'm aware of, unless Steve wants to roll to see what he perceives.
No, I like this better.
Okay, so the only person, Magnus, you realize that the gate has opened on its own. It now looks like the picture as for a moment ago the gates were shut,
gates were closed.
and nobody else noticed it.
Anybody see the door open?
What do you mean?
No.
Oops.
Well, when we look now, we notice that they are open, right?
Yes.
Whoa, when did that happen?
Hello?
Uh-huh. Go
There's
ahead.
there's no
Go
answer to
forward.
your hello.
Well, friends, should we venture forward? It appears as though the road wants us to go this way.
I've seen this before in my travels.
Oh,
Talk about that.
sure. Why not?
Well, wait, the Tiefling says that he's seen this before.
At a library, but this is not that library.
I won't have time to reference the material you sent me until I can read it, which obviously won't be during the session. But feel free to reference it. I'll try to keep up.
That's pretty much it. I appeared at the library and the doors opened on their own and
Oh, cool.
So, real quick, I have the cantrip guidance to add 1d4 to a performance roll, anything, and it's a cantrip, so I can do that as much as I want, correct?
Yep, you just got to let me know before you're making that roll. You try to do it in the middle
Yep.
of combat, it's an action. So if you're not in combat and not in initiative, you can do it when you want to.
Sweet.
Properly managing things like guidance and resistance, those cantrips, I've rarely seen people do that. So I'll be impressed to see how well you do.
Will do my best.
Effectively managing them, I should say, not properly. There's no right or wrong, but that being said, hey, look, gates.
Let's go through.
I
Let's
love
go
this.
through.
I'm on board.
Being somewhat cautious as I walk through, looking around, seeing if anything catches my eye.
So I'm feeling our marching order is Magnus and I in the front, and Moss and Vezerin behind us.
Yes, I'm in the far back.
What are we now? Yes, I am tank, without question.
Can I?
I know this is true. I know
I'm
this.
I'm the tank protector, so.
You're the tank. You're the healing force. And
Yeah.
I am
Steve,
the
can you give me that marching
swinging
order again?
So it'd be me and Magnus in the front, Moss and Vezerin behind.
Got it. That is our default marching order.
Veteran. Veteran is a melee attacker anyway, right?
Sorcerer, right?
I'm the sorcerer.
Oh, you're sorcerer. Yeah, now you need to be a step back. That's good. You source. Well, watch him source. Show me your sourcing.
It's not right with Castlevania not playing in the background, damn it.
Ooh, can I get a whip? Can I get a whip? That's too good, too.
I'm not.
Lumpy didn't like it.
What?
You didn't watch any of the Netflix?
What was that?
Castlevania?
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
watched
yeah.
those. Oh yeah.
Lumpy didn't like it. He said it was.
What did he say was missing? I'm interested
Yeah,
because I really like
that's
his
what
opinions.
I say.
It must have been missing something for him to say that, and I'd love to know what it was missing in his
Because
opinion.
I disagree with him on it. He has this thing where a character has to have, he's got to have feelings for a character and stuff, and I feel that other characters are there to make that happen.
He
You know what I'm
has,
saying?
like, he personally has to become attached to one of the characters in some way,
Right.
and that
Yeah.
didn't happen for him in this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which but he's not a fantasy guy. So that's where we fail
Oh,
in
I
like
see.
superhero stuff and like that. He's willing to accept the nuances that you have to do for the Avengers movies,
Right.
but he doesn't accept it for fantasy, and he's never been a big fan of fantasy, which is one of the
Okay.
things. I just feel like he's never played with the right people.
But for me, there's of course more to a story than just whether or not I get attached to any one of the PCs. But
Right.
in addition, because it wasn't Simon Belmont and it was Trevor Belmont, that was the beginning of my detachment. I was like, wait a minute, what's
Right.
going on here? And I hope they're building to that. But I mean,
Right.
after season 2, season 3, if you were trying to build to something you didn't get there yet, you're kind of running out of time. But for me, that show, I from minute one, I mean, the first scene, I was sold.
I feel like that
Yeah.
thing could go. I feel like their overall arc goal is 5 seasons
I'd
for everything
imagine,
that they
yeah.
put into play.
I mean, how many
Anything
times?
that they put into play, because all the starting characters of the cast have been cast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're all in different directions. So It's
All
one of
right.
those things where you're going to have 5 stories come back together to be whatever their finale is going to
So
be.
I'm gonna bring us
It's
back on
Miller.
track,
He's
even
not
though
a,
even
you
though
know,
that's a
and
conversation I want to have. I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get back to
I
that
know.
later.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna get back on track. No, I'm the same way. I loved that, and I can't stay there though. I got to get back to this, or we've only got we started late. I got to get to this.
Go.
You guys walk past the gate, and you've got trees on either side of you for a while. I've opened up the map a bit, and you're kind of funneled until you get to this opening. So for a while there, you've got these towering trees, whose tops are lost in this heavy mist, blocked out all but the death gray light that's coming from the sky. The tree trunks are unnaturally closer to one another than they should be, and the woods have a silence about them, like a forgotten grave. Um,
Let's go into the woods.
I personally, I could make that happen. We could. I think it doesn't feel like a good idea. Actually, if your character is considering it, you can make a perception check as you look into the woods. Again, these tree trunks are unnaturally close together, so it's almost like you're looking at a wall. But you might see some things going on in the woods.
But we don't hear anything, no animals, no critters.
You can make a perception check as well.
Okay. Branches possibly swaying in the wind.
There's
20.
nothing.
Very good choice.
Moss, you think you hear water moving or running to the south or north? Sometimes you hear something in one direction, it's clearly the other, so you're not sure which direction that is. Zezarin, you see a little bit of animal movement or life in the trees, higher up in the trees. You're catching a bird, a raven once in a while, something skitter along the ground, but you're not sure what it was, even with that high roll,
Okay.
because the trees are so close together.
Oh, I touch myself
Okay.
and I say, wait, did I just say something? Let me just double check.
Ana Mama Pipa.
Oh, wait, so sorry.
Ana Mama Pipa.
I approach the trees. Can I tell what kind of trees these are? Before I
I
do this.
I believe I was
Anyone?
calling them tall pine earlier, but you know how imagine like a picture or a painting of a Christmas tree, like perfect. Like there's a perfect trunk and it's a perfect V, like of pine needle things and leaves and such. Most of them look kind of like that. Like they're almost identical to each other in unnatural in that regard. The way they're so close together, like they were put together. You're going to buy a Christmas tree or something. Like they were all stuck together like that. It looks weird.
Now, do I not have the handful of oak bark that I would need for the bark skin spell?
I'm fine with that.
You
You
are?
have you probably have a druidic focus. At that point, you don't
Oh,
need your material components.
okay. Um,
I make the mistake of looking down at Zoom instead of at the mic. I mean, at the camera sometimes. So I'm just like staring this way the whole time.
then I want to cast a bark skin on myself.
What's the duration on bark skin?
1 hour.
Okay.
So do we see that? Well, we wouldn't. We're in front of them.
Yeah, everybody sees him cast bark skin.
Do you sense danger, Druid? Do you sense something? Do you see something?
Well, it looks like it's a little bit harder to escape if we have to right now, so I want to prepare to fight if need be.
Okay.
There's definitely life in these woods, though. We should be careful. I can't tell what's out there, but there's definitely a lot of things scurrying about.
Magnus, what's your sense of this?
We shall.
Keep moving forward.
I feel it's a forest that's dark and creepy, and that we should probably move on with finding some civilization.
Agreed.
We can come back to a forest at some other time.
Great. So we'll quicken our pace a little.
About a. I actually haven't done the math on these hexes and these hexagons in a while, so I'm gonna give myself a break today and then hammer that down when it makes more sense later in the campaign. But time passes as you approach this area here, and you're starting to. Where's my? Am I still on the right page? No, I'm not. Starting to. Once you get into this more clearing area, you're starting to be able to see further and further around before the woods start to impede your vision again.
Do we see that village from where we are? Or is
Yes.
that okay. Hey
Um,
guys, looks like there's a town up ahead.
It's
Excellent.
Barovia.
How do
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
I have raised the difficulty level
Approach
on
the
myself
village.
in ways I do not know
Ready
if I'm
to
ever going to do this
pillage.
again. Interesting. All right, we're getting there. Yeah, the village seems to be another couple hours away, but you can see it from where you're at. And of course, there's the river that you heard earlier. It's actually to the south.
So what do you guys think? You want to go to town?
Absolutely. Let's continue on. I think the longer we're out here, the more at risk we are.
Seems logical to me.
We keep pressing on.
Do we have a pin?
Oh, I forgot. No, I don't. I'm not going to put one on there right now.
All right. These are octagons.
I forget. Did the guy that we talked to in the last session give us any indication that people in Barovia were going to be hostile towards us?
No, we have the letter.
No,
Okay.
yes. We got a letter of, I don't know, and a feeling of, I don't know. And
I believe that's the letter. If you need to see it again.
That's right. That's right.
and we know that the master has an affinity for this lady, this same lady, correct? Because that's about as much as we got out of him, that the master has an affinity for this lady.
Yep.
Yep.
That much I remember.
So you're about actually these. I wanted to hammer out these hexagons. Each one of them is about a quarter mile. So I'm starting to remember how long it takes to get from one side of one of these hexagons to another. They're all. I think I calculated them around 400 feet once. I don't remember because I had a couple of combat encounters that included more than one hexagon. Anyways, you guys are 2 hexagons out, so you're here-ish. When Cleric can smell something off, and you know what death smells like. You've done services. You've had to deal with bodies in a way that mainly just to put them to rest, but you've been there, and you smell that.
Friends, I smell the scent of death. Do I get a sense that it's moving?
I don't know how you'd get that sense, but no, you don't.
Death.
Moving death.
Have your wits about you, friends.
As you come up closer, there's something on the road in front of you. It's not moving. It is dressed. It possibly could be what you're smelling.
Can anyone make out what that is?
I'm not making out with it.
Anyone with keener eyes than I?
Well, what do we roll for that? Insight?
At this range, perception. If you get close enough, you can do investigation and really check it out.
Does anyone have a spyglass?
I really don't mind going to check it out.
Okay. But Zezerin, from here, you can tell that that's a corpse.
And it's dead?
It's a corpse.
From here, yeah, it looks dead.
Alright, can I tell what race he is? Or she?
Human.
Human? Okay.
He.
Appears to be a human corpse, guys.
I'll go investigate it.
All right, so
Well, I
Moss
think
takes the lead.
I think we should all go together on this.
Agreed.
You all gather around the body down there. And this foul scent has led you to a human corpse. He's half buried, just off the road. My bad. The young man appears to be like a commoner. His muddy clothes are torn and racked with claw marks. It looks like crows have gotten to his body a bit because there's surrounding paw prints. But it looks like he's also been
Check for
dead for
cause of
days.
I don't do it in like an attempt to pierce or puncture him, but I just kind of firmly push my scimitar like into his sternum and kind of just move it a little bit, give him a sternal rub
Okay.
to see if he's, dead.
You're trying to check if he's dead? Make an investigation check. I'm sorry, make a medicine check with advantage. What's everybody else doing?
I was going to make a medicine check for cause of death.
You also have advantage because you're witnessing what Moss is doing.
I think I'm gonna.
So
Can I
would
roll
I
it to
do
see what
that?
kind of prints are around?
Yes, that's a nature check.
What
But
caused
I
him
give
to-
advantage if I'm pulling it from my character sheet.
There on the lower right of Fantasy Grounds under your chat window should be a thing that says ADV, DS, DIS. That's where you can
So I do
switch
it the
to.
same way as I was just to do like with a normal D20 roll?
Yep.
Ooh.
What? Drops the 1 for the natural 20.
Come on! Wasting them 20s. Getting us to burn them
You
all.
talking about this, isn't
But
it?
I
Yeah, it's
also
a bit of
burned a
waste.
1 2 at the same time, so
That's a good way to look at it.
I balanced it out.
You are his son.
Steve dropped a 1 2.
Now I have to remember all the questions.
Remember the questions.
Gabriel, how did he die? As you guys are moving you're moving your weapon over him, you can tell that there's claw marks and bite marks on his torso and arms. At least the parts that aren't covered. So you're pretty convinced that he was attacked by wolves. Moss is able to deduce that it was actually. I mentioned that he was partly buried here. He wasn't buried by like a shovel or anything. The wolves dug him a hole and put him in it. Like, as you can see where the wolves had clawed it in to make the hole in the first place, and then pushed
Well,
some
that's
of it
actually
back up.
very kind of them.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
It shows how wolves are kinder than humans. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
Well, is there a way to know why the wolves would do that?
You can ask him.
A nature check or something like that?
Magnus and Gabriel make perception checks with advantage, and Zezerin, you can tell that these other marks besides the wolf marks are also crow. Their crows were around, getting at the body a bit.
Okay.
Can I roll to see if this is normal for wolves to do in this area or like in this universe? This
Yes,
world?
Patrick, you can make a nature or arcana check if you're looking for the unnatural version or the natural version. Magnus and all right, we'll start with Moss. Moss, you don't think that wolves usually do this. Even a full pack of wolves that's working together wouldn't have a reason to do this. This doesn't seem natural.
I want a metagame. So does my character, would he have any insight about werewolves being a thing?
You can. Let's see. What was it? What was that? Like a 19 something? You know what a werewolf is. You're familiar with how lycanthropy works, and if you could make a note of that somewhere for me, I don't. That of course might come up. So,
Awesome.
Gabriel and Magnus, you can see into the forest to the north, where this is peeking right here a bit. There are two wolves looking at you.
Oh,
Their eyes are wide open.
we have two wolves at the edge of the forest line.
You saying that out loud to the group?
Yep.
Okay.
It actually is a 23, not even a 19.
Well, I look at the wolves, and do I see their eyes all open and whatnot?
You can make a perception check as well.
All right. My question is if they are in fear or if they're in wonder or what's going on.
It's an insight check, and if you want to reroll, or I could just take the 12 and add your insight.
Yeah, sure.
I'll take the 12 and add plus
Insight.
3. That's a
That's still a
15.
50.
They're observant, as if you would watch a constable looking out at the road, waiting for something to go wrong, or a woman staring out the window looking for her husband. Like
So
they're,
they're more just curious as to what we're doing.
I wouldn't say curious as in checking it out in haphazard. More like if something goes wrong, they will make a move. Like they're ready for action, but they haven't seen anything that's causing them to act. Like
Gotcha.
they're ready, yeah. So maybe a little more than curious. There's a little bit of aggression.
So I look at Moss and I say, "Hey, do you speak werewolf?"
Do I?
Do you?
Werewolf.
I don't think so.
Werewolf isn't a language, Moss.
Can you speak with beasts? Is what I'm asking.
I don't think I can, actually. Let me double check.
Does it look, so you said it looks like something dug the hole. It doesn't look like anything was in its way out of the hole.
True. Yes, it looks like dogs work together to try to bury this man.
Yeah, guys, this might be a cover up. This is not something that any wolf that I know
Does he look like
has
he was
done.
attacked by the wolves?
You want to make an investigation check on the body?
Yeah.
Okay, because so there's been a couple medicine checks, and he kind of poked the body with his weapon, and they deduced that he had some claw and bite marks, but nobody's investigated the body yet.
Sure, we
Investigation.
don't know if the attack happened here, if this was just a drop off for him.
13, do we any good?
You can tell that most of the damage is around his upper neck and right shoulder. That looks pretty bad. And as you rifle through his pockets, you find another one of those letters. The one I just showed you.
Same letter.
Pretty close. Moss,
Got another one of these.
Moss, his boots are unscathed. They're in good condition.
Taking his boots? You would. All right, so we have another letter. This letter reads a lot like the other letter.
Interesting.
It's another invitation letter.
Yeah, here.
Wait a minute. I can go somewhere with what you just told me about his boots.
I was talking about.
We're not like necessarily too far. Like we're in the same geological region. When is the last time that it has rained around here?
It looks like it rained last night.
And his boots are clean.
They are unscathed, undamaged. They're in good condition.
Yeah, I don't think he got here by walking.
Steve, I think you noticed it. You guys might not. I thought Tony was going to notice it the first time.
I'm sorry, I was reading.
Earlier today when I put up this note, I thought you were about to notice it. I think Steve notices it now. This is a different letter.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah, but the penmanship's so similar, and the graphics are the same. I thought I saw Tony looking at it closely, and I think the rest of you dismissed it. But now Steve's got it.
So, yeah, so let me read it. I, the Burgermeister of Barovia, send you, what does this say? Loman?
Honor.
You honor, okay. With, why don't you read it?
I, the Burgomaster of Barovia, send you honor with despair. My adopted daughter, the fair Lena Cow something, has been these past nights bitten by a vampire. Is that word?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
For 400 years, this creature has drained the lifeblood of my people. How my dear Lena languishes and dies from an unholy wound caused by this vile beast has become too powerful to conquer. I say to you? What? So I say to you. Give us up for dead and encircle this land with symbols of good. Something's in the way now.
Let holy men call upon their power, that the devil may be contained within the walls of weeping Barovia. Leave our sorrows to our graves, and save the world from this evil fate of ours. There is much wealth untapped in this community. Return for your reward often. We are all
Departed.
desperate,
Not departed.
departed for a better life. Oh, I see. Oh, God. Okay. So that city's abandoned.
It says,
Oh, hey, the thing in the way was the letter.
yeah, there is much wealth entrapped in this community. Return for your reward after we are all departed
Oh,
for a
okay.
better life. And it's signed Kolian Indrovich, the Burgermeister. And
I
yeah,
light a torch.
Alright, I'm putting this in my inventory.
Yeah, me too. My notes.
Oh, I can't.
you can drag the drag the link to one of your hotkeys in the bottom. And remember, you've got plenty of them. Like you see 12 of those areas down there, but if you hit shift, 12 more show up. If you hit control, 12 more show up. If you hit control and shift, another 12 show up. There's like 80, 90 of them down there.
And alt and shift alt
Yeah.
I was talking about hotkeys
and
before.
control alt
Yeah, that's what those were.
Did you follow it? Did I say
and
that's
control
wrong? Or?
shift alt.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You can pile
You
things
know.
down there all day. And if you're looking to save something like this in another spot, you can create a note. The right hand side, notes might be one of your links, and then once you start a note, you can add something like this to it, so you know where it is there as well.
Okay, can you share that other letter with me real quick? So
I don't. I was looking for it quickly. I don't think I ever typed out the other letter. Like this one, I
Okay.
stopped and I typed it out because I bumped into this problem after the first session where I hadn't so I don't think I have a copy of the other one typed out.
Alright, no worries.
I can prepare one for next time though. The party currently has both.
Okay.
Well, as soon as we're done with this guy, I would like to burn his corpse with this torch.
Well, wait. Can we tell which direction he was going in?
Yes, he was trying to head in the direction that you're coming from.
So he was another of these little messengers that could leave the area. He was going to try to find heroes.
His message is very different though.
Yeah.
So I look at the party members and I say, what do you think the likeliness is those wolves will attack us if I take this guy's cloak? Is it like a tattered cloak or is it intact?
I'm sorry, is it a tattered cloak or is it
Intact?
intact? It's got some damage it's got some claw and bite damage, but for the rest of other than that, it's okay. Like the mend spell, in about a half hour could get it back together. It's muddy or dirty, but
Okay.
Well, if the wolves wanted it, they would have taken it.
My feeling is that whoever this ancient one is has a unique relationship with the animals of this world. We saw those rats earlier that were looking at us,
Yes.
almost observing us. Now I feel get the same sense from those wolves. So I don't know that it matters if you take the cloak or not. If he wants those wolves to attack us, they will. I think more than anything, they were trying to stop this young man from getting this message into the hands of someone who could actually help.
Would you
Sounds
guys
about-
concur with that? Alright, so yeah, I think I'll take the cloak, but I'll move slowly while looking at the wolves to see what their reaction is.
okay. And make a perception check as you look at the wolves.
Alright.
Both wolves act more like statues or gargoyles than wolves. They're not moving at all.
Alright, I proceed to take the road.
Okay.
Can I make an animal handling attempt to try to tame them?
I'm not going to stop you. You're a little far away.
You want to get closer to the wolves at the edge line? Where you only see two. You know, they scout, right? As a pack. Okay.
But you
You
see,
said
I
the-
can give myself an extra D4, and I have like an extra like +5 on that. From a metagaming perspective.
Chris, you said the road was brown?
One more time? Oh, yes. Dark brown, but brown.
Okay.
Doodoo brown.
Magnus, I feel like we should take this body back to the town. I'm sure you had family.
We can try.
I think we should burn the body.
How buried is he?
Let's see. Should I go with exactly what it says here? It says it's half buried. So, I mean,
3 feet.
it's only like it's more of a trench that he's in, and he's got some loose dirt over his legs and his lower back, and
We
but
could
his
pull him
boots
out.
but his boots are sticking out. Right. I mean, it wouldn't take. It's not like a big thing to pull him out.
Okay.
So looks like the wolves tried to cover him up more than bury him.
Is the druid attempting to
That is a good question.
get the wolves out of Strahd's service and into ours?
Actually, I kind of want to use my helm of telepathy on it.
What are you? Your class?
All right.
Not that detect thoughts.
Would you be the one that-
I am your humble DM. I am going to attempt to help you with this. Let's see what happens here. Let's take a look at the helm of telepathy, and it says it basically detect thoughts, which is creatures. Yeah, creatures is on board. You don't speak with small beasts, am I right?
Didn't choose it for today.
I don't.
Okay, so you're stepping into this unsure of what's going to happen.
Yes.
Okay. You cast that. How many times a day can you do that? Or you can do detect docs all day, right?
I believe so.
Uh,
There's no thing for it for me to check off or. But it would be this.
So the first thing I'm going to mention is while you guys are on the road, if we look directly at the hexagons, you're nowhere near the wolves. So I'm going to say that there is wolf. There are some trees around the path because that wouldn't make sense otherwise. That being said, you're looking at the path. Either side would be less than 30 feet. So the wolves are now within 30 feet of you, but you had to move about 20 feet closer to them to do that. So you're currently 20 feet away from the party and the road, and the wolves are 30
as
feet
he's
off.
moving over there, I'm just gonna switch to my crossbow
Okay.
in case it needs some help.
I appreciate that.
I was typing. What exactly is going on?
Druid's going to try to tame the beasts.
Oh,
Not even that necessarily. I'm trying to figure out if they are actual beasts or if they are
Gotcha. Okay.
something that's transformed into a beast.
okay. I'm gonna watch this happen.
hmm
And,
I'm really curious to see what happens too.
Anybody
So-
else got a shovel? I guess I could just take my
I
shield and
really have no
dig
clue.
that grave a little bit deeper.
The best shovel I have is Mage Hand.
No, I got my
Turn
I
into
got my
something
shield.
that digs. Yes.
I think we should bring the body back to the village.
You guys notice as these random twigs and leaves surrounding the druid, they start to move. The area around his head and coming down between with his hair is now moving, and his hair starting to move a little bit with it. So it's like this whole Medusa thing's going on a little bit. It's just a quick breeze going as all the leaves that he was wearing as some kind of a hat start to maneuver. Patrick,
But you
you
guys feel no breeze.
Moss, you connect your eyes with a set of one of the wolves' eyes, and it's now connected with you. And you can only hear him. And the only thing you hear clearly is "Stay."
Oh shit.
Do
What do
we
you
all
do?
hear that?
Nope.
No.
This is detect thoughts between Moss and one of the wolves that he is now connected with.
Okay.
So I've never actually heard any vocalization from the animal guys. Well, wait, are they close enough to hear me? Or no?
Who? What? Where?
Is anyone close enough to hear me?
They're only 20 feet. The rest of the party is 20 feet away from you. The wolves are 30 feet in the other direction. Did
Well,
that answer
yeah,
your
I'm gonna
question?
kind of walk back to my group and let
As
them
soon
know
as you
I'm
get
like,
out of range, the spell will end. You know that. So, do you come out of range?
Actually,
Now, cinematically, is this you take a couple steps back nervously, or do you run like a bitch?
trying to think this out.
Or somewhere in between. I mean, that's the gauge, you know? That's
Steps back.
Actually, I'm frozen in fear, and I just say I've got a bad feeling about this.
you Luke Skywalker it. I love it.
Um,
Um, if you
yeah,
are
so I literally just say loudly, I've got a bad feeling about this.
so if you're canonically saying you're frozen in fear and you have a bad feeling, the three of you notice as he one of his hands stop. Now the only thing about Moss that's moving is the helm of telepathy, which Patrick has told us is now this these wigs around his character's head, and these twigs and these leaves. That's the only thing moving. Everything else is not moving. He's as still as the trees. Do you guys
So
do
I kind
anything?
of, so I kind of go.
He's not facing you. He's facing the other direction, so he's got his back to you.
Okay,
And he's-
well, everyone else saw that.
Yep.
That's my reaction.
And he's 20 feet. He's 20 feet out.
Well, yeah, I look at the group and I go,
I have no idea what he's doing either, friend. Moss, are you okay?
No, I
I
obviously.
say loud enough for them to hear me. It just spoke to me.
so you do speak.
No.
No,
What did it say?
stay.
Wolf said
So I'm
that?
listening.
Or was the wolf being told that?
He doesn't know. He put his head inside of a wolf's head and they got all scaredy. Look at him.
I think that the wolf is being told to stay by the ancient one. I feel like we need to move, friends. Move quickly to the town.
Magnus, your attention from this
I'm all for that.
scenario is pulled away as you look in the direction of the town. You saw a gust of wind, or possibly some kind of an explosion might have happened in the center of the town, because there's now this smoke cloud coming up from the center of the town and just disperses above it. It only lasts for a couple seconds, but you saw it.
I'm gonna stop playing with the wolves. That means.
They're either having a bonfire or something blew up in town.
Or someone just left town.
I thought town was abandoned.
Oh, I don't do the magic.
Should we venture on?
Yeah.
I think so.
3 out of 4 people say, let's get the hell out of here. The other one wants to play with the puppies.
No, I'm ready to go. I don't like these wolves.
We taking the body?
I'd like to, but I'm open to what the party says.
I would like to burn the body. We don't know. We don't know what's
Not
gonna
burn
happen
the
with
body, bring the body.
it. Burn it.
I still say burn.
We can burn
Burn
the
it,
body.
then bring it?
You guys loosen the gravel and the dirt around the body and are able to bring it. Who's exactly carrying it, or how is it being carried?
We could carry it with 2 sticks and if we can find long enough sticks in the area and the guy's own cloak.
Okay. The 2 sticks aren't impossible to find. You end up traveling about 10, 15 minutes before you find what you're really looking for. So you kind of drag it along until you find it.
All right.
And then you find what you're looking for, and now you have 2 sticks and a cloak, and turn it into
Hammock.
a hammock bed thing.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on.
Triage.
Can our druid turn into a horse or something like that?
Yeah, that's why I just put it in the chat for wild shape.
Oh, nice. Can we put him on you? Just kind of drape his body over you as a horse?
We still build the canopy for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he could drag the canopy. That's not
Yeah,
a problem.
he needs something so he doesn't just keep falling off.
Right. You tie him to the things and
Okay.
you can just throw him over the top of the horse. That's true too.
Yeah,
Throw him over the top of You like carrying dead things? Sure, you carry dead things. Go ahead for it. Crazy elves. Love them.
Oh, we should give me a little dentist's cabin like Django.
That went over my head.
Yeah.
Django Unchained is an amazing movie on Netflix that you should watch.
All right, so onto the horse and onto the town.
So body over horse lead to town.
It's about a half hour from where you are to the beginnings of town. There is currently a body on the horse. And I will set up what's happening in town. It will be my pleasure.